Good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, June 5th, 2023. This is a regular session of the School Board of Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The time is 6:01. The place is the Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. We're also via live stream, www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the School Board of Public for the sole purpose of conducting the school corporation business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Present.
Trustee Smith?
Present.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Present.
Trustee Gibson King?
Present.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Present. The Pledge of Allegiance, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is the agenda. Item 3.01, the approval of the agenda.
Governing Board President, prior to approving
Dr. Bregel.
prior to approving the agenda, I would like to table item 6.23 for the next Governing Board meeting.
2.23.
What was that?
6.23.
6.23.
6.23.
Oh, the,
2-2. 2-2. 2-2.
6.22.
Is it 6?
6.2,
2-2.
well, 6.22, she says.
I don't know, did you change it?
Yeah,
It's the approval of the data coordinator. The job description was incorrect. Make sure we're talking about the correct one. It would be the data coordinator job description,
Okay.
okay?
So we do see a 6.22 for the approval of data coordinator job description. So that is 6.22. All right.
Mr. President,
Mr. President.
just a point of order. Since the agenda hasn't been approved yet, right, you're about to do that?
Yes.
You can just remove it. So once a motion is made, it'd be made with the additions.
Okay.
Or subtractions.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from the audience for the approval of the agenda as amended? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board for the approval of item 3.01 as amended?
Mr. President,
Trustee Gomez?
move for approval of the agenda with the removal of 6.22.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
you want to make a secondary motion?
I want to make a secondary motion. Let me second.
Seconded by Trustee Gibson King. Is there any discussions?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King.
Yes, I would like to remove items 6.20 and 6.21. We're just in receipt of that today.
So 6.20, approval of strength coach, exercise specialist job description. And 6.21 is the approval of fitness center, front desk job description.
And 6.19.
6.19 is the approval of assistant strength and conditioning coach job description. Is there any questions
So
from
this
the
is,
board? Is this a motion, or how are we doing this?
well, I think she was trying to get in
Get in to remove it.
Oh, to remove it?
for
Yeah.
trustee.
Before we
Before we approve it,
approved it.
approve the agenda.
Okay. Do you have any question, or do you have any comments on that, Dr. Brago? Or do you have, or any problems with that?
No, I'm good with,
Removing? Okay.
Thank you.
So, so the amendment now is a removal of 6.19, 6.20, 6.21, and 6.22 as amended. Is there, Jesse, Trustee Gomez, are you okay with that, the amendment? since you made your motion?
You can accept it, or you can take a vote on the secondary motion.
Mr. President, if I could, ask instead to also add 16.19, 16.20, and 16.21 as a removal from my motion.
Okay. With those additions, is there a second to trustee Gomez's motion?
Second.
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any comments or questions at this time? Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 4, the consent agenda. Is there any questions or comments from the audience for the approval of the consent agenda at this time?
Mr. President, before the
Attorney
consent
Hirsch.
agenda, if you could do the certification.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. So I hereby certify that the executive session was held on May 26th as well as June 2nd, and that nothing was discussed during those meetings other than the topics included in the posted and advertised notice of the meetings, as required under Indiana Law 5-14-1.5-6.1. Okay, back to item 4, consent agenda. Is there any, hearing none from the audience, is there any, I'm sorry? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about the personnel report. I'm wondering when the fall sports might be posted and approved.
Great question.
So the personnel report is 4.03. Dr. Brigo, did you want to, with regards to fall sports?
I think we're working on that, and that should be coming up pretty soon.
Okay, do I hear a motion from the board?
Mr. President, I move for approval of the consent agenda.
Okay, motion made by trustee Gomez, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second made by trustee Gibson King. Is there any questions or comments at this time?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Trustee Hernandez Orange.
couple things. First item that I would like to discuss is on page, for the claim docket. And it is on page, there's going to be 3 items that will be discussed. And I want to put it up so I can make sure. So it's going to be page 5, 112845, page 6, 112846, page 21, 3991 DD. And you don't have to look, I mean, you can't look them up, but they are in reference to the same thing. These items are on reference to reimbursement for a per diem and/or reimbursement in regards to, I guess, it says on their car for a conference, for the NALEO conference. And the NALEO conference actually is a conference that is, hold on, let me take out my paper. I had to make sure, look it up to make sure what it was. The NALEO is a National Association of Latino Elected and Appointed Officials. It's a 501c3 nonpartisan membership organization whose constituency includes nations more than 6,800 elected officials. With that being said, in our policy number, and just to point, that's not an NSBA-approved organization. But in our policy 0175.1, for school board conferences, conventions, and workshops, the school board recognizes the value of membership and attendance of conferences, meetings, local, county, state, and national level attendance at local, county, and state workshops and conferences sponsored by the National School Board Association, the NSBA, and/or if it's affiliates. So when discussed, and it was in public, that it would be the Indiana State School Board Association, the National CUBE Conference, Each board member is expected to report back to the attendance of the officer, as well as travel and personnel expenses of spouse, children, or other guests traveling with the board member shall be the responsibility of the board member, or the individual expenses, convention functions attended to the group will be borne by a corporation with the budgetary limits, meaning this should not have been reimbursed, all that for that. So I am asking for those items to be removed.
Is that a motion?
That is a motion.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any questions or comments at this time? So this is to Vanessa's motion. Madam Secretary, roll call.
So it's just to point out what it is, it's a motion to remove check number 112845. It's also to remove 112846, and it's also to remove 3991DD, which that one actually is under trustee Gomez's name, but it should be under your name per the invoice. So I just want to make sure we have that noted, but I don't want a motion yet, or we could make a motion for that, that's
Well,
fine.
we can open up for discussion at this time. So I want to start by saying this. NILEO is an educational fund, which myself and trustee Gomez was granted the opportunity for travel as well as hotel stay. One thing that they don't, the title was Empowering Families to Elevate Student Outcomes. It does, and the thing is that who they gathered were school board trustees from across the country for this. So it does fall within the educational guidelines, but I do appreciate your concern on that.
Yeah, it just doesn't fall underneath our policy. Also, with that, if you
Okay,
actually gave the statement of what it is, so the agenda, you talked about it like one day, but not the others. So, and I think that's what definitely needs to be discussed prior to even leaving to these elected official conferences, and it was also denied last year. So the motion.
Is there any other discussions at this time? Madam Secretary, roll call. In regards to the second motion.
This is just, again, this is just for the motion, but we're still in discussion of this entire thing, correct? After we approve it? Okay,
We're still on the consent motion.
okay, so this is
but
just a
you-
motion
you
to
just-
change
You
it.
just made a second motion on
Correct,
4.03.
okay. I just wanted to make sure we all knew.
Okay. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes,
Trustee Gibson King?
No.
Chairman Rodriguez?
No.
we're still in conversation, right? Because I still have the floor.
Yeah,
The other item I wanted to discuss was in personnel. I too want to piggyback to Ms. Steinbach's question in regards to, yes, the fall coaches, but I guess we just ended up on the personnel report approving coaches from the spring as well as ECA from the spring. The school year's over with and we're still approving it. So I'm not understanding where we're falling on the process of approvals because in reality, this is a liability. Right now, we have all of our fall sports as well as our winter sports that are currently going on. I'm not understanding, because they have, in order to be competitive, obviously, you want to play in the fall league, the summer leagues, but we're hindering them for doing that, and it's very disappointing, and it's also a liability. I hope you all act quickly on this item.
Is there any other discussions from the board with regards to the approval of the consent agenda at this time?
Yes,
Trustee Smith.
thank you. Page 34, claim number 59056. Oh, I'm always doing this. Claim. Page 34, claim 59056. Dr. Grego, could you just explain that, please?
34.
Oh, on the claim docket.
Which item?
59. Page 34, 59056.
See no 59056.
It's a claim number, 590 at the end.
Here's,
I don't see it.
yeah, I'm not seeing it either.
Let me see it.
So we're on the
Oh,
claim.
right here, 59096. It's on the end, down at the bottom. 59096, you said?
Yeah, claim, not the check.
59056.
This one here.
Do you see it?
Page 34.
Yeah, no, I see it.
I see it.
I'm going to seek help, if you don't mind, from one of my directors. The item in question deals with 3 students attending Indiana Horizon School in Maryville. Am I on the right one?
Yes.
One of my directors, Ms. Andis or Ms. Gutierrez?
Where is it at on this sheet? I don't see it.
Ms. Castro, can you help us with that?
Where is it at on this sheet, Joel? 59056.
These are students who attend outside of our jurisdiction. They are EC students. This is part of our Title I program. Maryville is the LEA, so we have to send the money to Maryville schools.
Is that sufficient?
Trustee Smith?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Castro.
You're welcome.
Any other discussions with regards to the consent agenda at this time? Madam Secretary, roll call?
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
No.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 5, old business, 5.01, approval of 3% pay raise and $700 stipend for non-union, non-certified administrators and security. Dr. Brigo.
Yes, we want to make that motion forward, and we would like approval on that item.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from the audience for the approval of 3% pay raise and a $700 stipend for non-union, non-certified administrators and security as discussed? Yes.
It is.
Is it? It is. So and that's a good question, because I think I even asked that question with regards to the 700, because here it says stipend.
Right.
So stipend is only given one time. So regardless of the length of time, I think 2 months ago, when some of the folks received the $700 stipend, was at that time. So that's a good question.
And it is retroactive to the beginning of the school year. Question in the back.
Yes, sir.
I think the last time I was here, we brought up a situation with 3% raise for the security. The last time I was here, we brought up that, and I questioned and said, why not 15% instead of 3%? Because 3%, my question was at that time was, we all realize the cost of living is going up. So when you give a person a 3% raise, that means that they're not even getting a chance to catch up with what's up here, the cost of living. That's why the last time I brought up, I said 15%. but the decision has been made for 3%. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct for this approval, yes.
And how long is that supposed to be? The 3%?
It's
For 1 year.
for 1 year, but it
Oh, okay.
continues
Just-
on, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so.
All right.
And can you state your name for the record? I'm sorry.
Melvin Mobley.
Okay. Thank you. All right, is there any, let me get my, all right, is there any other questions or comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am?
Hi, Tia Cawley. My question is, do you all ever consider giving the people who actually live in the city, because you have so many people that live outside of the city, but the people that are here and are actually on the ground need to have a bigger consideration because they're willing to stay here, not get on the Klein Avenue and go south. So, just like the city of East Chicago, Mayor Anthony Copeland, he gave the people here, and the council people gave the people here an extra per diem and a stimulus package. So please consider that in the future, because a lot of people could have moved, but they willing to stay here.
Thank you. All right, any other discussions from the audience? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion from the board?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 5.01.
Motion made by trustee Gomez, is there a second? I'll second that motion. Is there any discussions?
Trustee
Yes.
Rodriguez?
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes, I'm asking for the second part of the letter that was given to us on June 2nd, 2023, be removed, and that we allow all the individuals that are non-union affiliated staff, security, receive the 3% raise because of the fact that, like Ms. Gibson King, she had conversation, obviously, and didn't feel comfortable with the fact that the items were given to us this morning. So I'm asking for that to be removed, because while we did receive it in our executive session, my question of when did the individuals receive their ineffective notice, their needs improvement notice to put them that they would not be able to receive the stipend, when did they actually get that? The second thing is that are they the only individuals who received the needs improvement? And are they the only ones that actually are not going to receive that, who have needs improvement? So are there other people who have needs improvement that are not receiving the stipend, basically? This has basically been all over. I'm very disappointed that the individuals who truly need these funds actually don't receive them at any point in time, because we're, I guess, messing around with the lives of the individuals. So again, like I stated once before, if you're not retroactively using those past evaluations, like the teachers, stop separating the subgroups. Let's just make it happen like it has been, and we'll move forward. So I'm asking for a secondary motion to have those items removed. Everyone will receive a stipend as originally given to us by our CFO.
There's a motion made by trustee Hernandez Orange with the removal of the letter.
No, not the removal of the letter. The removal of the second paragraph of the letter in regards to the employees,
With the 4 employees, right?
the 4 employees, correct.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes.
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any questions or comments at this time from the board?
Yes, Mr. President.
Trustee
Like
Gibson King?
Mrs. Hernandez, trustee Orange said, this is a situation that's been going on for a long period of time. And the problem that I'm seeing here is that we are given documents during other meetings that we may be having. Now, the last meeting that we had on this 3% was June the 2nd. But now, it was supposed to have been read, where it says, it is recommended that the non-affiliated staff and security receives a 3% raise. Okay, it says also, I agree, Mr. Ambrego, with the CFO's recommendation with the following exceptions. The recommendation, are you speaking of her recommendation on this sheet that we was given June the 2nd? Is that what you're speaking about? Everybody in this white section right here will not be in receipt of this 3%?
That is correct.
That is what we met on, right?
That is
Okay,
correct.
and so, okay, that's what I wanted to clear up. Thank you.
Is there any other discussions at this time from the school, from the board trustees? Madam Secretary, roll call
Just to clarify, this is for the secondary motion to remove the second paragraph.
Correct.
Second.
Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
No. All right.
Good job, good job, good job.
So now we have to approve the item.
Great job.
Item 6,
No.
I'm sorry.
We're approving it with the amended.
All right. Item 5 again, 5.01 as amended. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6, new, 6.01, right? So we're now in, hold on one second, give me 1 second, gentlemen. Where am I at? This is 5.01. So we're on now in new business. Item 6.01, approval of pre-K, Dr. Abrego.
Yes, Governor White, President, we're asking approval to bring the pre-K back into our schools. That is the motion.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from the audience with regards to the approval of pre-K?
3909 Evergreen Street, Great City, Chicago. I want to know what you're going to do with the West Side School when you bring off the pre-K back in. What are you doing with that?
Dr. Briggs? Can you repeat your?
I want to know what you will be doing with West Side School if you bring it. What will you be doing with West Side?
Can I answer?
Yeah, Dr. Briggs.
Yes. We're hoping to plan, or we're planning for an alternative school at Kerry Gosh, where the preschool is.
That's not for certain, it's just,
What's that?
that's not for certain, it's just an planning stage.
Well, no, it's a proposal that's what we want to do.
Mr. President,
Attorney Harris?
I don't believe the audio is picking up the audience, so if they could go to the microphone. They're not able to hear you on the recording.
Did you want to? Okay. All right, so I guess the question was, what's going to happen with West Side, or I'm sorry, with
Kerry Gosh.
Kerry Gosh, so, and I didn't, what
I
was?
said, our recommendation is going to be to make Kerry Gosh an alternative school for students from Block Middle School and Central High School.
Okay, is there any other?
Stacy Winfield, so with you making that alternative school,
Okay.
I know you only.
I'm sorry.
Stacy Winfield, 4106 Dearborn Street. With you making that an alternative school, being a former school board trustee, that building can only stay empty for so long before you would have to sell it. So how long will that take? Is that going to be by next school year that you're planning on making that an alternative school? Because they tried the alternative school before at Lincoln, and that did not work,
Yes, our plan is to start it.
which was failed.
Our plan started for this upcoming school year. We've got all the documents in order to proceed. We had to go get permission from the Indiana Department of Education. We had to put some documents in order, so we've done all those things. to
Okay,
move
it was
forward.
formerly called Field School, but they changed it to Lincoln, so that's why I'm saying Lincoln. But hopefully that will start when school starts. I mean, it's gonna be a trial and error basis, because you're combining the junior high and the high school together
This
for
is
the
a-
alternative school?
Yes, it's for students that need help, and we identify the students that cannot make it in a regular school, and we want to place them there to help them.
Okay.
So will it be two separate times, like high school in the morning and middle in the afternoon? Will it be two separate times, like the kids, they won't have the middle school and the high school there at the same time, will they?
It is correct? Yes.
We have Dr. Ondas, did you want to clarify, please?
Not doctor.
I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
Good evening. Yeah, so we met with the, to put in an application for alternative program. I met with the committee all throughout this year, and we had hopes of setting it off this year. But the state kind of walked us through some of the legalities and looking at different options. And so our hope is we've already talked with both the middle and the high school to identify some students that it would benefit. But we're looking at a building of having it high school in the morning and then middle school in the afternoon, starting out small, but then eventually growing it if the need is necessary.
Is there any other questions from the audience, ma'am? Can you approach the mic? Because since it's recording, we can't, we want to make sure, state your name, please. Thank you.
Oh, is it for me?
It might be. Okay.
My name's Elizabeth Trinidad. I really have this major concern with the question that they asked and with the alternative school. How do you guys plan to accommodate that when you guys could barely accommodate the school you guys have now with teachers?
All right.
My major concern is the school my child's in, which is Field Lincoln.
Yes.
They can't even find a teacher for a disabled child's classroom, yet alone for an alternative. So you guys could do that, but you guys can't accommodate the regular schools with teachers that actually care. You got aides actually, well, let's say subs, let me not call them aides, subs taking over and taking the role of a teacher and actually working the whole school year as a sub, like if they're a teacher, but then you guys withdraw them to try to accommodate with another teacher from the same school that has had issues with children already. And that's a problem to me, because I have a child with a disability. And it's not only my child, there's other kids that can't speak for themselves. We are their voice. So if we don't speak up, who will? So that's a concern for me. And it's sad that I could literally go to the director of special education and literally speak my mind and I never get heard. And they'll be like, oh yeah, I understand what you're saying. No, obviously you don't, because nothing's getting done. So that's a problem to me. And if I sit there and I call you and I tell you, you know what, I need to know if you could tell me, please, who's gonna be this teacher that's gonna be taking over my son's class. Well, you know, I got 3 options. I'm gonna tell you right now. Out of those 3 options, 2's fine with me. I have a 3rd one that I don't agree with. So if I don't agree, and I'm not the only one, and East Chicago is small, so word gets around on what's happening to every child in the city, then you can't sit there and be like, it's not a problem. That's a major problem. It don't have to be my child. I would stick up for anybody's child if that teacher is completely wrong. I don't want a teacher to be teaching my child that has had issue with other students already, but yet again, has had issue, the school knows about it, keeps her, sweeps it under the rug, and doesn't even notify the parents on what's going on. I know, because it happened to me. So for you to sit there and be like, you know, I'm taking all your concerns into considerations, obviously you're not, because obviously nothing got done when that happened to my son. So I just need to know, like, you guys trying to do an alternative school, how y'all finna get all these teachers when you guys can't even get teachers for the regular schools? And you can't combine, my thing is, You trying to combine two schools, you trying to combine the middle school and the high schoolers. As long as I lived in East Chicago, that has never happened. And better yet, y'all can't even control one big school, which is Central. Yet again, you trying to combine two, and on top of that, age gap is totally different. So I don't know how you guys kind of handle that, but stuff got to get done, and y'all got to do right.
Thank you.
That's just my opinion on that.
Is there any other questions or comments at this time?
Kenneth Monroe, question on this alternative school. You say, how many hours are they going to school? Come on, somebody answer. How many hours will they be going to school?
State requires 3.
Okay, state requires 3. Thank you, young lady. Now, are you really helping these kids? They come for 3 hours and they done for the rest of the day out there in the street? What are you gonna do? Are you really helping them?
Can I take it?
You can answer.
The students that are going to be going 3 hours. These are students that maybe not even in school. They need help. They're not having success. They're not passing in our regular schools. So it's up to us to help these students. We have students in 8th grade that need help. And we could either do one of two things. We could just leave them alone, let them continue to fail, or maybe not even attend school, or we can try to help
You
them
know
with
what
alternative
helps
school.
kids? Being with them all day. Watching them all day. Instead of 3 hours, they should be there 8 hours, the whole full time. And then that's how you find out a way to help them. How you gonna help them when you gonna only be with them 3 hours? It won't work. And always remember this, everybody up there, these are East Chicago kids.
Yes.
Remember where you're coming from. These are East Chicago kids. And it's not going to work, because like the young lady said, you guys don't even have enough teachers now for one school. You can grin all you want, but I'm going to tell you like it is. And I got some more things to tell y'all when I come back up.
Please state your name for the record.
My name is Reverend J.C. Wade Jr. I've been here since 1965. And my question is in regard to the school and the alternative school. Are you all familiar with Student Voices?
Yes.
Are you all familiar with Student Voices? Let me call you back, Pastor.
All right. You got reinforcement. That's good, preacher.
Are you all familiar with Student Voices? How many of you on the board are familiar with Student Voices?
Somebody speak up.
Listen, I'd like to know how many of you are familiar with Student Voices? Raise your hand. So, which means, and here's why I'm standing here. I'm standing here for the students. I have been meeting for the last several weeks with a group called Student Voices. Here's their argument. Here's their argument, and I support it. They tell me, Pastor Wade, the board is making decisions about people they don't even know.
Exactly.
Y'all don't know these kids. Y'all don't know the Student Voice. I know them. You don't know them. You know why they meet? They meet to discuss their needs, and they want to share with. I asked you about 3 or 4 weeks ago, would you all meet with these young people? Have y'all met with them yet?
Yes.
Did you all get what they said?
Yes.
Then you ought to tell the people what they said.
Mr. President, we're on the item of.
I know, but I'm saying it's a part of the
pre-K, and
school.
I appreciate your.
It's a part of the school. But go
But it's
ahead.
not part of the
I don't want
pre-K
to take up all
agenda.
your time, but I'm here because I take up time with these kids. I'm the one that started this stuff going with you all, meet with these. Y'all didn't know these kids. Now, don't start me I don't want to debate with you all, but I was out there every Monday morning. I'd be out there during the day. I didn't see you all. I saw a couple of I'm trying to get you all to see, take time out to listen to what the people are saying. Take time out. Otherwise, you're going to find out you're going to have some problems that you don't need to have. Just take a few minutes. Hear these people. You hear this lady talking. She's pouring out her heart for her kid. Take time out, board. You all hear me what I'm saying? As a pastor of this community since 1965, and Brother Gomez know me. He's not for me. I'm not a new creature with him.
All good.
Take time out with the kids and with the parents and listen today. I'm here to ask you to take time out. I'm not here to battle with you. I'm here to tell you, as a leader of this community is 65. I know the politics of this town. We know. Come on, let's understand this is about the kids, all right?
Thank you.
Then I'm gonna sit down.
Okay.
All right, again, we kind of jumped off the regular session a little bit. But, let me finish. Let me finish, because the outline here is about 6.01, which is the approval of pre-K.
Insult this audience, please, sir. Don't do that. All right, go with your agenda, but don't insult them with the
We're not, I'm not trying to insult you, sir. I'm not trying to insult you.
Don't do that.
So item 6.01, do I hear a motion from the board to approve item 6.01?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.01.
Motion made by trustee Gomez. Is there a second? I'll second that motion. Is there any questions or comments from the board?
Trustee Rodriguez.
Trustee Hernandez Orange.
I am asking for a secondary motion to table this item. And the reason why is because the first time I heard that West Side, the old West Side is going to be an alternative school is right now. I understand that as a board trustee member, not on the executive board, I am not entitled to others, but I've asked you multiple times to make sure to contact and let us all know. This is the very first time. My thought, when it was presented to us, is that this building here, because it's supposed to get sold, was going to end up going to the Kerry Gosh. I had no idea whatsoever that that was going to be the alternative school. I know there was discussions that we wanted to have one, yes, but the discussion was never that it was going to be there, at what time it was going to be there. With that being said, I'm asking this item to be tabled, and I'm also asking that we stop making decisions and moves without the board approval, because in reality, nothing should happen without the board approving.
Thank you. So motion made by trustee Hernandez Orange. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussions at this time with regards to trustee Hernandez Orange motion?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
I also want to apologize to those individuals at Kerry Gosh, because now you don't know where you're going, because now we have to table this again. So I apologize, but at the same time, we just need to know what's actually supposed to happen.
Hearing none.
Mr. President,
Trustee Smith.
I do have some questions regarding this Kerry Gosh. This particular program is funded under 3011, Build, Learn, Grow Stabilization Grant. Now, my problem with this is, I'm always a Plan A and a B person. So, as far as moving the kids, the children, I'm kind of up and down about that. But my problem is, you have to have a Plan A. And then once you have your Plan A, then you have to move into your Plan B, which have to agree with Trustee Hernandez. We have not sit down to talk about a Plan B. But this is my concern. Has the state been informed of these changes? Has the state of Indiana been informed of these changes to turn Kerry Gosh into a pre-K?
No. Dr. Riggle?
Yes.
Okay, so now, you know that this fund is from funding 3011, like I said, Build, Learn, Grow Stabilization Fund grant. Now, this grant money is attached to the current license number, which is here. Has that been changed?
I'm not sure.
Well, you know, with
Sure we have.
that, okay, has that been changed?
May I? Okay, so Grant Fund 301 that you're pertaining to, the Build, Learn, Grow grant, is not how we fund Kerry Gosh. That is a grant written by Ms. Peters, that was written on her behalf of her staff to do updates to the building. So that ends on September 30th of this fall.
Okay,
That's the only monies coming in to support the program, is the grant she wrote. It's not supporting the program.
okay, but the paper that I have right here says the grant money is attached to the current license number and must be spent for the current location. So,
Yep, and it will be. We've contacted the state for the process to get it spent out before June 30th. We're way ahead of time to spend it out because we know.
but do you have it now? We're coming up to September the 30th, and this is when this grant money has to be spent.
Yes, so what we did was we contacted the DOE and said, how can we expedite it? They have gone through the process with us where we're going to take the remaining balance of the grant and reimburse ourselves for salaries. We can put it in that lane.
Okay, I'll give you that. Okay, now,
That's the only way that we can absorb the money because it was for internal projects.
okay, that was another question. Okay, so with this move, if this was to happen, we discussed this. Now, you got AM, PM. Has transportation been notified?
Yes,
So you're gonna have more jobs for bus drivers?
Susie O., our Director of Transportation, has been in all the planning sessions.
So
Same time, so no, we don't have any extra bus routes. She can man it with the two buildings that she has,
So
according
this
to
will be two
Susie.
different bus runs, right? From the schools. So what I'm trying to say is, they will have their own bus drivers.
Correct, like they do now.
Let me just say this. I don't have a problem with some of this, but I have a problem with when things are not spelled out. And they have not been spelled out. And that's why I'm disappointed with this. I have a problem with children moving to grow or whatever. But I do have a problem with not having a plan A and a B. And I have a problem with not knowing the next step. And I'm quite sure the homeowners and the residents in this community needs to know exactly what's going on. Don't just give me a piece of paper and think that I'm supposed to go along with it. Because when they ask me, see, they might not ask you all, but they'll come to us and ask us. And then I'm standing there looking like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Because you did explain it, but this should have been explained to the community first. I'm not getting on anybody, that's just the way I feel. And for me not to be, if I have to do my own research, then what do I need you for?
Mr. President,
Trustee Gomez?
Ms. Gutierrez, you explained this to the board
Multiple times, correct.
multiple times, didn't you?
Yes,
And
sir.
we had multiple times to ask you all the questions that we needed to know.
Yes, sir,
Not just once, but multiple times, correct?
correct.
Okay, just want to go on record with that.
Trustee
Thank you.
Rodriguez.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Ms. Gutierrez, he'd come back. I understand you told us multiple times about the Carrie Gosh, and she has a packet, and it talked about how we're all moving, but not one time did you say it'll be an alternative school, did you?
My job was to give you factual
That's correct.
findings
I'm
on
right.
Carrie Gosh.
That's right.
And the
So-
funding, so that everybody understood the amount of money we're pouring into Carrie Gosh without getting any money from the state.
I just wanted to make sure that Trustee Gomez understands why I'm actually okay with pre-K moving into their schools. I think it's smart because of the fact that we pay for it and we have to absorb. But it was always my thought, and I guess shame on me, that this building, we're selling it and we're going there. Never about the alternative program. But with that, one question that you did bring up that kind of is, I would like to know, you said the salaries for that grant, from that building, so you actually ended up letting them know that we're moving those individuals, because salaries, they start school August, I forgot the date. And then we end up leaving the 30th, so they're okay with us moving
That's
those
the
funds?
only lane that we're allowed to move
Move
that
it.
money into, to encumber it by,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to know that. Thank you.
And it's a very small percentage of what School City pays right now. It won't even be a drop in the bucket.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Secretary, roll call.
Well, can you clarify what the roll call's for?
Item 6.01, the approval of.
No, actually, what it is the tabling, because I asked to have it tabled. So, item 6.01.
Yeah, can you want to?
We actually have a first and second.
Yeah, you want to clear your motion again, since you want?
So we're tabling the approval of pre-K, and actually, I made the motion, and Ms. Smith seconded, so we're actually now in.
Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6 point, so that's been tabled. So that's item 6.02, the approval of 2022 or 2023-2024 office calendar. Dr. Bregel?
Yes, that calendar states the official for the office holidays for the 2023-2024 school year. You have that in front of you, and we're asking for approval.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from the audience with regards to the approval of 2023-2024 office calendar? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.02.
A motion made by trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussions?
Trustee Rodriguez,
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
I wish that Dr. Abrego would give us the email letting us know why we're doing this stuff. Can he better clarify why? This is the first time we've ever actually approved this for the office staff. I've never seen this in my 6 years being here. So there could be a clarification as to why we're doing this.
Dr. Bregel?
I just thought it was standard, something that you do every year. It was brought to my attention that we have to get this approved.
It's all right.
Is there any other discussions? Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.03, the approval of Central High School gym floor replacement. Dr. Bregel?
Yes, we're contracted to improve our gym, so we don't want to be far behind on this work. So we're recommending approval of Central High School gym floor replacement.
Is there any questions or comments from the audience with the approval of Central High School gym floor replacement? I'm sorry, let me.
I'm back.
Yes.
When you met with the Voices, did they give you some other things that were a problem at Central High School? Because I have pictures, I don't see that on here, of something that needs to be done at Central High School. Are you all aware of that?
They
I have
have,
pictures of
and
the
they-
bathrooms and the floors and some other things. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
Well, my question is, I don't see this on the, is that to be taken care of? You all consider that?
Well, that was a presentation made by Voices, yes. The
What I'm
group that we
saying,
met with.
have you all given it some consideration?
This is, it's not what we're discussing at this time.
So you don't have that before you?
I can't give you that answer because it's not part of what we're discussing at.
I'm just asking, did they give this to
They
you about
did
some
give
other
us- yes,
issues?
They did present, they just give us the presentation, yes.
Okay, I promised them and I'd followed up, so I'm just doing what I promised them to do. All right. I'll be back.
Can you tell me what the cost is to replace the gym floor?
Dr. Bregel?
I just want to make it clear, Board President, I attended the Indiana Schools Board Association conference along with Attorney Harris, and I think that what we're doing right now is not following correct order, because we are supposed to allow the community to comment, but we are not here to answer all the questions. So,
Well, that's actually a state law, so it's not, yeah, I'm gonna, just to clarify, I'm gonna have Attorney Harris to clarify that.
Then why are you asking us for questions?
that's what I said.
Attorney Harris, you want to clarify that?
Everybody
So-
kind of know
So yes,
when you don't want to answer a
on.
question, something going wrong. We're not stupid.
We have something to talk about with our legislators,
Okay.
so how we can change that. But let's let Attorney Harris say a few words, or say.
The law permits public comment on each of the agenda items. It doesn't speak to question and answer. That's the prerogative of the board chair.
Okay, so you don't have to answer, correct?
According to the law, that's correct.
We're giving the opportunity for the public to make comments with regards to each agenda
So-
item, is what we're doing.
Understandable. So when will we get answers? Or it's just something we saying and you no comment? Because you guys do not call anybody on response of anything. So tell me that. How can I get an answer what I want and you don't say it back and you never call? Not saying you direct, Mr. President. Nobody got nothing to say again. All right. Nobody got nothing to say again.
Yes, sir. Remember, this is in regards to,
Yeah, the gym floor. I'm a state champion in that gym. I appreciate that. My name is Hollis Full of Love. My name is Hollis Full of Love. I'm a resident of East Chicago. I do have a comment about this item being the cost as well. I would like to know that. But then also I would just overall comment, Mr. Abrego was my principal as an elementary student. Mr. Abrego, I have to say I'm pretty disappointed in the way you have addressed us as members of the city of Chicago. It's not right. I will give you your credit. You definitely held us to a very high standard as students at the elementary level. So it's my duty as a resident of the city to hold you to that same standard. We cannot allow that type of conversation or the type of inference of the people that we are in this city, right? We've had a problem in the city for quite a while of the lack of pride and the lack of trust that we have with each other, and we're not going to gain it back addressing issues like that, okay? So that's all I had to say.
any other discussions or comments from the audience? Okay, is there a motion for the Central High School floor replacement?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.03.
Motion made by trustee Gomez. Is there a second? I'll second that motion. Is there any discussions?
Trustee Rodriguez.
Trustee Hernandez Orange.
So, for the record, the Foster Specialty Floors project is $339,203.28. And that's actually included into the agenda, so just in case anyone wants to know, you just look on the agenda, it's on there. I don't feel it's a problem to let the community know it's a simple question, it's right in front of you, and it's also made public previously. With that being said, my only question, and I haven't seen this on here, and with the gym floor, I understand, I was there when we got the last gym floor. I ended up working there right before we got the last gym floor, and that gym floor is literally like, I think 12 years old, and now it actually hurts our athletes because when they do hard stops, it breaks a lot of ACLs. So I'm glad that we're finally getting this done. With that, is there any like warranty with that? Because I know when the last time we got it done, we ended up having a company come in and they gave us the tools so that we could actually sand it down ourselves and kind of fix it, but then it didn't work out because our maintenance really didn't know how to use it. So I just want to know exactly what is included other than, it's just the floor, or is there an actual maintenance package that's included with it? I didn't see it on there, so I hope we asked about it.
How we doing, everyone? Lenny Francisci, Director over Facilities. That price includes the flooring, also with brand-new bleachers on the main floor. So a lot of them are wood. You see some of the kids jumping and bouncing. These are now backed with plastic and wood, so it'll be that much stronger. So that is both all the main floor and all the, no, the upstairs will be a second phase because we're still trying to redo what we're gonna do around the track and everything else, but, and what you said, it's a 5-year warranty on it, and they're gonna even come in and do the polishing for the first 5 years, so.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so then they'll take care of that. The only thing we might have to replace is maybe if the paint gets worn or something like that, but as far as the finishing, they will take care of it.
Thank you.
No.
Thank you. Is there any other questions
Yeah, I just want to ask him, what funds are these just coming out of? What dollars?
That's not my pay grade, but that's maybe Nell Center's.
Probably the superintendent.
Trustee Smith, that's being funded through one of our bond funds.
So you,
Is there any other questions from the board?
Mr. President,
Attorney Harris?
if we could have Mr. Franciski step back up to the mic. For the record, we need to make sure we're clear on something. This particular proposal isn't the lowest proposal that was received, so we need to make clear why the recommendation's being made.
They couldn't provide a subfloor.
Yeah, as far as we're going with Foster Floors. There was another one, which is Stalker Sports Floors. They did not offer the cushion that goes in between, so where the athletes were messing up their ACLs, they did not offer that. And that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to replace the floor for the future of the athletes.
Understood, and I just wanted that for the record. That would make this proposer the lowest, most responsive and responsible proposer. We just need that in the record.
but he might as well stay up there.
Is there any other questions from the board?
He said from the board?
Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Oh, well.
This will be a comment. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Hi, Tia Cawley, 2922 East 141st Street.
One second, because I think I've already opened up the floor for any comments with regards to this particular agenda item.
Okay.
So,
I'll wait.
You wait.
I mean, you can, in other words, for.
I
not
have a
this-
question for
not
Attorney
this.
Harris.
Can you wait for either a public, when it comes to public forum?
Yeah.
Did you sign in?
No. Well, my
You can speak
question,
with Attorney Harris after the meeting.
no,
but
I don't want to ask, I want the board to
At
listen.
this time, we've already
My
closed.
question is, how come that wasn't put on the agenda when you all bidded it out? How come that didn't stipulate on how you wanted the flooring? That's not a question necessarily to Attorney Harris, but it's a comment to him. Because, of course, when you do the quotes, you should have put that in the records of how you wanted the flooring and how you wanted everything for them to be able to bid on the process. So that was what comment.
Yeah, the specifications, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Is there any other questions or comments from the board?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
There were two bids with that particular project. And it's coming out of capital projects, a $80 million bond, which is for capital projects for the.
In here.
Microphone's off.
I'm off again? Okay. This is a capital project, okay? This is something that we have to have in our gym floor. I know we have other things we have to get straightened out in our school district, but it is, to me, I felt really bad going to other schools, and I have been fighting for this particular gym floor for the last 4 years. It has been shined and buffed and graved and whatever to the point where it is paper thin and you can't do anything else with it. So, thanks to our CFO, the bond is already set. There were two bids, and this particular bid that we're doing is option 2. So it covers just about everything that we need. Unfortunately, we don't have the floor plan layout on a display, but it is definitely needed for our gym and for our bleachers. You know, it's just disgusting that we're supposed to be East Chicago, the Cardinals, and the floors are uneven, and it kind of like, I'm not a basketball player, but I can just imagine if you're gonna dunk or whatever you do and your floor is going down or is soft. So I have been asking for this for a while. So I don't know how you all feel about it, but I'm glad to see it being done because something's being done and money's been put back into our schools. That's not the only project that we plan to do, but that's something that needs to be done. So
Thank you, Trustee
I'm
Smith.
for it.
Madam Secretary, roll call for item 6.03.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.04, approval of Central High School's gym bleacher replacement. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, this is part of the same project. As Mr. Franceschi stated, they're doing the gym floor. They're also going to do the replacement of the bleachers.
Okay. Is there any questions or comments from the audience at this time with regards to the approval of Central High School's gym bleacher replacement? Hearing none, is there a motion from the board for item
President, I move for
6.04?
approval of 6.04.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second made by Trustee Gibson King. Is there any discussions?
Yeah, I just want to know, Mr. President, is this funded through the bond too?
The question was this also funded through the bond? Yes. And the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Secretary, roll call?
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.05, approval of Harrison Elementary floor replacement. Dr. Abrego?
Yes, again, this is a project, very big project for towel replacement on the first floor of Harrison Elementary, the hallways, the corridors, the vestibule, and selected restrooms. And again, we're trying to improve all our schools. This is one of the big projects going on this summer.
Okay, is there any comments from the audience for the approval of Harrison Elementary School floor replacement? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board for item 6.05, approval?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.05.
Motion made by Trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by Trustee Smith. Is there any discussion?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
I see that, well, I'm okay with the item, but my concern is that I would suggest we have that 5-year plan that shows when floors are being redone. And I state that because I'm starting to see floors at different schools are being redone, keys are being redone, locks are being redone. Before I got on the board, we seen a lot of that, and we got rid of all that. So my suggestion is that there's actually something in place so you could see when each school got a new floor, what location got a new floor, so there could be a plan. And I know at one point Ms. Simmons was working on that, and hopefully it continues. So that was just my comment.
All right. Any other discussions from the board? Madam Secretary, roll call?
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.06, approval of Resolution 2023-04 in support of East Chicago Federation of Teachers. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, Board President, I attended superintendent's meeting, and I know that the politicians downstate encourage us not to do this. However, at our superintendent's meeting, I was able to get some samples, and really what this is, it's a school, City of East Chicago School Board of School Trustees in support of the East Chicago Federation of Teachers. And really what we're saying here is that, therefore, be it resolved that the school, City of East Chicago shall continue to meet with the East Chicago Federation of Teachers to receive meaningful input and exchange points of view to support our educators and better serve our students. In other words, we want to continue networking with them.
Okay, is there any comments from the audience for the approval of this resolution 2023-04 in support of East Chicago Federation of Teachers?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Helen Steinbach, East Chicago Federation of Teachers President. I just wanted to say thank you for doing this, but without being asked.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? Okay, is there a motion to approve from the board, item 6.06?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.06.
Motion made by trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussion?
Mr. President,
Trustee Gomez.
I had asked Attorney Harris to write this resolution. I want to thank him for doing it. It's very concise but directed to the point. I appreciate his help on this. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.07, approval to accept the 2023-2024 Career and Technical Education Perkins Grant. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, this is a grant of $157,883. So we want to make sure that we do accept that grant because it will help our Central High School career and technical education students.
Is there any comments from the audience for the approval to accept the 2023-2024 Career and Technical Education Perkins Grant? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board?
Mr. President, I make a motion to accept.
Okay, motion.
6.07.
Okay, motion made by trustee Gibson King to accept item 6.07, seconded by trustee Gomez. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.08, approval of teachers at St. Casimir for summer school tutoring. Dr. Abrego?
Yes, the school city of Chicago manages the Title I funds for St. Casimir. They develop their program, and when they need the funds, they just contact us, and we're the ones that are giving them the funds. So we manage their funds. This is for St. Casimir.
Okay. Is there any comments from the audience for the approval of the teachers at St. Casimir for summer school tutoring? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board to accept item 6.08?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.08.
Okay, motion made by trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mr. President.
Second made by trustee Gibson King. Is there any discussion?
I just want to ask a question, Ms. Ambrigo. I know that the Title Fund dollars that these private schools get paid out of, and as you say that we don't monitor their data, we don't monitor how they're
No,
doing
that's
in their
entirely
summer
different.
schools, do we?
That's an entirely different school. It's like we're doing after-school tutoring here for our kids. They do after-school tutoring for their students. They run their data. All we do is they requested money for 3 teachers, so
So we just give them the money and don't,
it's really,
Well, I know it's Title I funds, you know.
it's federal funds for East Chicago students.
Okay.
So, and I do have a question. So what you're saying is that the students, our students are going to St. Casimir for summer school tutoring? Is that?
No, these are
No, these ain't
East
none of our
Chicago students
kids.
that attend St. Casimir
None of our
or
kids.
Bishop Noel, and
Right.
they qualify for federal funds.
Gotcha.
Right, I just want to make it clear, they're not none of these Chicago kids, right? They're not our students, right?
Well, they're from East Chicago.
I know they're from East Chicago, but they're not
but
from our
they're-
schools.
They attend other
That's
schools.
what I want to know.
Right. Any other discussion from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.09, approval of teachers at Bishop Noel for summer school lesson or session 1. Dr. Abrego?
Yes, basically the same thing. The federal dollars follow the student, so these are East Chicago students that are attending Bishop Noel. They've requested to have 3 teachers for after-school tutoring.
Okay, is there any comments from the audience for the approval of teachers at Bishop Noel for summer school session 1?
Yeah, I think there might be some questions from the audience, just to make sure we clear this up for everybody, so I'm gonna try to explain it. I believe what you're saying, Dr. Abrego, is that the federal funds are guaranteed for these students based on where they live. It doesn't negatively affect the students that do attend East Chicago schools. We're just passing it through to the schools that they are attending.
Correct.
Everybody, we good there?
Correct.
All right, that's all I'm explaining.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussions from the audience at this time? Hearing none, is there a motion from the board to accept item 6.09?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.09.
Motion made by trustee Gomez, is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. President.
Second made by trustee Gibson King. Is there any discussions at this time from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.10, approval of SIOP training for teachers. Dr. Abrego?
Yes, this would be training for 30 teachers. These are teachers who help our students that are English limited. They receive instruction on how to help those students. This is very, very important because I want to say approximately half of our students are either ELL students or special education students, and we need to help these teachers so that they can help the students, and in turn, this will improve our federal and state report cards.
Okay, is there any comments from the audience for the approval of SIOP training for teachers? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board to accept item 6.10?
I make a motion, Mr. President, to accept.
Motion made by trustee Gibson King, is there a second?
Second.
Second made by trustee Gomez, is there any questions or comments at this time? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.11, approval partnership with Purdue West Lafayette. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, this is a partnership with West Lafayette, and basically what they're going to do is they're going to send us an outreach coordinator, and that outreach coordinator would assist students and their families who are in grades 8 through 10 and help them providing career preparation for their families and hopefully support on how to enter college.
Is there any comments from the audience for the approval partnership with Purdue West Lafayette? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board to accept item 6.11?
I make a motion, Mr. President, to accept.
Motion made by trustee Gibson King. Is there a second? Second made by trustee Gomez. Is there any questions or comments at this time?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
This item was given to us by Mrs. Andis, so maybe she could answer my question. Oh, she's not here? She left? Oh, she went home. Okay. With that, my question was, Purdue West Lafayette is the partnership. I'm not sure if they reached out to us or if we reached out to them, but some of our students in the city of East Chicago, we always don't like to go and travel. My son being one of them, I know that. So did we have this conversation with Purdue Northwest? Because maybe we could actually have that transition or have them actually meet.
Dr. Abrego?
Yes, Ms. Hahn's not here, but I think this was not with Purdue Northwest, it was Purdue West Lafayette.
I know that. That's why I said, did we end up asking?
But our intent is to expose students to West Lafayette also. I know we have partnerships here. And again, the most important thing is what we're trying to get out of this is they're going to send an outreach coordinator from Purdue West Lafayette to help our students.
Right, so my comments was, did we talk to someone from Purdue Northwest? Because some of our students do not travel far from here. They want to stay at home with their families. Is there a possibility for us to talk to someone from Purdue Northwest to have the same situation happen? Yes, I understand we have a partnership where our kids go to school there. I get that, but we don't have a coordinator. I know that. So that's why I'm saying, did we have a conversation with them to try to do that here? Just understanding our community, you would understand that you would want something for here too.
Yes, we can look into that.
Okay. Is there any other discussions from the board? Any questions? Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. 6.12, approval of MOU with Local Education Agency, LEA, and University of Indianapolis, McKinley Elementary. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, this is to be in compliance with the new House Bill 1558 in the science of reading. That's a law that's going to be mandate that all schools have that by 2025. Well, we have a partnership to have a full-time science teacher, coach. We started this at 2 schools, and now we want to extend it to 2 more.
Okay.
And those are our elementary schools.
Is there any comments from the audience for the approval of partnership with Purdue West Lafayette?
No,
I'm sorry,
I
take
think-
it for the approval of MOU with the local education agency and University of Indianapolis with McKinley Elementary. Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board to accept items? I'm sorry, ma'am, can you go? We can't answer questions, but did you have a comment?
Well, I have one. I think it's an excellent idea because I think that children need exposed to more than just their surroundings. I remember as a kid myself, I was sent to Edgewater College in Florida, and I live in Florida for like a 2-week program. And my granddaughter's getting ready to go to Harvard for 3 weeks this summer. And I think kids need to get away to learn more and to see another environment. So I'm hoping that it will be passed.
Is there any other comments from the audience at this time?
Mr. President,
Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board?
Mr. President,
Trustee Gomez?
I move for approval of 6.11, I'm sorry, 6.12.
Okay, motion made by Trustee Gomez, is there a second?
I'll second it, Mr. President.
Second made by Trustee Gibson King, is there any questions or comments at this time?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
So in the document, it states that the funding is 66% of the coach's total compensation. So we're paying the compensation for this individual?
I didn't hear the question.
She stated where, can you repeat it again one more time?
In the document before us, it says 66% of the coach's total compensation is as determined in the document. Is this something that we're paying?
Ms. Gutierrez, can you help me with this one, please?
So they cover a certain percent of the salary for the coach for the district, and then we pick up the other. This current year, they picked up 70%, 75%, and we covered the other 25.
Well, then, is this, I know you guys are wanting to, we asked instructional coaches to reapply, and are they part of this individuals who are reapplying, or is this something specifically just with the university? They chose, or how did that work?
Correct. This came out of the House bill for the science of reading. So they're letting us know that we have to be in compliant by the school year 24-25 with revamping our curriculum and our strategies and our instruction. So their plan is to support us for 2 years with salary reimbursements for 2 coaches, just like we did this year, to get us on track to be compliant in 24-25.
So there's someone that they choose, or we're choosing?
It's somebody that we try to find in-house. And we send them the names and the resumes. They then interview, but it's our people, and then they decide, but they partner with the DOE. They're still a school city employee.
So for the instructional coaches that you guys have presented to us, is this part of this, or this is an extra 2 more?
Correct. This is specifically for K-2, science of reading, for all the students in K-2 in every building. What's great about this is now it's going to our other 4 schools. We've had really good gains in Harrison and Washington this year. Now McKinley and Lincoln, our babies are going to be able to get the same advantages as the other kids. Lincoln/Field School,
So with
correction.
that, can you, as you guys present, whatever instructional, I know this is something I asked
Yeah,
about
just
a billion
distinguish the
times.
two.
Well, no, what I want to know is how many instructional coaches in reality are we going to have in our school system? Because we did not have these extra 4 that we're asking for.
Correct. This
So
is
that's
a
what I'm saying.
partnership.
So
This is
can I
only a
finish?
2-year.
Let me finish.
Okay.
With that, so I want those 4 people that we want, and then all the instructional coaches we're planning on having. And if we could actually have the document where we said that we get to know who is what and who's where, and then the funding for that. We've asked for it for a while now. I know Dr. Mitchell, I'm sure he already has it, but we could just have it in our hands.
Yeah, let me go ahead and clarify. This partnership with the DOE is only a 2-year commitment. This is nothing that is going to go beyond. It's only 1 more year for Washington and Harrison, and then they lose their coach, that funding. It's only a 2-year commitment. The next 2 years, that we're signing up for is now for the other two sister schools to have that 2-year commitment. So it's not a long-term thing. This is for our assistants, for our teachers, for our students, with getting back to compliance with science of reading.
Where's the funding coming from for these two?
They come out of title, actually, they're general fund, correct, Cindy Castro? Yes, general fund. They are currently our teachers, so they're just slated that way.
For all of them?
For the science
four.
of reading 4, yes.
Well, for University of Indianapolis and the next one?
Correct, correct.
Any other discussions from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mr. President,
Trustee Gomez.
as a point of order, state law does require that we allow the public to make comments in advance of each of the agenda items. What would be helpful if we had individuals cite their names so that Ms. Bigham can report that, and in the event somebody needs a response back, we know exactly who's asked that question.
Thank you, Trustee Gomez. Item 6.13, approval of MOU with local education agency. Oh, we just did that one, right?
Yeah, well, no, it's a different one because it's the same thing that we just spoke about, except the one we just spoke about was for McKinley School. This would be exactly the same thing, but this would be for Lincoln.
I should have finished my sentence here. And University of Indianapolis with Lincoln Elementary. Dr. Brigo.
Yes. Again, we're just trying to support all of our schools. It's, Ms. Gutierrez explained, we don't have to pay the full price, but this would be for Lincoln School, everything she said about McKinley.
Okay. Is there any comments from the audience with the approval of MOU with local education agency and University of Indianapolis with Lincoln Elementary? Yes, ma'am.
Gilda Orange. So, Dr. Berger, I know you don't have to answer any questions, but are you prepared in future budgets to put these people in as coaches or additional staff? Because once the state starts paying for them and it's going to be mandated for 24, 25, are you going to have room in your budget to pay those people?
Any other comments from the audience?
I got at least have a little respect and look at her when she's talking, Dr. Brinkle. Please. Have a little respect.
Any other questions or comments from the audience at this time?
You don't have to answer.
Okay, hearing none. Do I hear a motion? Please, can I have some order here? We are conducting, I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. Can you go up to the mic? I apologize.
Stacy Bailey, 4760 Parish. I know you don't have to answer any questions, but you should really try to practice of being semi-conscious to what's going on. I've watched you. Here, that one. Ladies Blue Coat. You are so inconsiderate. You show absolutely no concern of what's going on. And I think if you don't want to be here,
Ma'am?
you perhaps need to step down. What
Ma'am?
is it? You asked for a
So-
comment.
Actually, we have to talk about the particular item that we're
Well, I'm
discussing.
talking about this particular item.
This is not an item, so. Is there any motion? Is there any motion from
Approval of
the
6.13?
by trustee Gomez? Is there a second? I'll second the motion for the approval of 6.13. Is there any discussions from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange? Yes. Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.14, approval of Amira assessment and close educational renewal. Dr. Brigo?
Yes, this is the district's dyslexia plan, which requires all students to be tested each year, and this is per the Indiana Department of Education.
Okay, is there any comments from the audience for the approval of Amara Assessment and Closed Education Renewal only? I'm sorry? Okay. All right, is there any other comments from the audience?
Yeah, what was the name of Mara? Is that the name of the assessment?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, that's what he asked.
Okay. Is there any other comments from the audience? Hearing none, is there a motion from the board to accept item 6.14?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.14.
Approval, a motion made by trustee Gomez, is there a second? I'll make the second motion for the approval of item 6.14. Is there any discussions from the board? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.15, approval of Beyond Textbooks annual fee, quotes, and IGE for 2023 and 2024 school year. Dr. Brigo.
Yes, this is the Beyond Textbook Curriculum Framework that we're implementing this year. Basically, all we're asking is to continue it into next year.
Is there any comments from the audience for approval of Beyond Textbooks annual fees, quotes, and IGE for 2023-2024 school year? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board to accept item 6.15?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.15.
Okay, motion made by trustee Gomez, is there a second? I'll second that motion for the approval of 6.15. Is there any discussions at this time?
Trustee Rodriguez.
Trustee Hernandez Orange.
Last year, when we ended up putting this program into place, it was stated that the superintendent stated that he needed this beyond textbook program in order to get our schools to B. With that being said, I have yet to see any documentation saying that we're even close to a B. And I don't even know if there's any slight of improvement or anything. I voted no for this then. I'll vote no for this now unless you could prove to me anything different.
Any other discussions from the board?
Yes. I have to agree with
Trustee Smith.
Thank you. I have to agree with Trustee Hernandez Orange. I said no last year. I'm going to say no again this year because you said we were going to be at a certain level, and then you just said last week that you were going to have data. So until we could get data to prove that this program really works, my answer is no.
Dr. Brigo?
Yes, thank you for our trustees for those questions, and I welcome the opportunity to show you the data. However, the data is embargoed at this time, which means the state says we can't share it. Once the state tells us that we can share it, I would be more than happy to share with you, because I was a little tired of our 5%, 4% of the kids passing, and I think when you see some of the progress that was made in some of our schools, I think that you will be happy with the progress.
Trustee Rodriguez?
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
I asked to table the motion until after we see the data in regards to the Beyond Textbooks annual fee, well, until after we see the data. So I'm asking for a motion to table this item until after we see data.
There's a motion to table item 6.15. Is there a second?
Second?
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussions with regards to the table?
I don't know if this is the right time to ask this question as far as this is concerned. Is this something, can we just have a workshop on this, work session on this?
Right now, there's a motion on the floor to table item 6.15. Madam Secretary, roll call for the table.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.16, approval of secondary science textbook adoption 2023-2024. Dr. Brigo.
Yes, we want to adopt secondary science textbooks. When we called the state, they said only do it for 1 year. The reason being that next year the state will take over the book rental. So this is a 1-year project or a 1-year purchase.
Is there any comments from the audience with regards to the approval of secondary science textbook adoption 2023-2024? Hearing none, is there a motion from the floor to accept item 6.16?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.16.
A motion made by trustee Gomez, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second made by trustee Gibson King. Is there any discussions? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Item 6.17, approval of 911 dispatch summer course for graduation pathways.
Yes.
Dr. Brigham.
I want to thank Ms. Pohl for bringing this to our attention, but really this is for 25 juniors and senior students at Central High School, both general ed and special ed, and they will become 911 dispatchers. This will help them to get a job in the future. Also, for graduation, it fulfills bucket 3, so thank you very much for that.
Is there any comments from the audience for the approval of the 911 dispatch summer course for graduation pathways? Yes, sir.
Yes. Just in general regards, how is this program funded? Okay, yeah, I asked because as a business owner, I also have no problem teaching students at East Chicago my trade as well, if that's a possibility. Don't know the formal way to present that to the board, but I'd be more than happy to.
Is there any other comments from the audience at this time? If not, do I hear a motion from the board?
Madam President, make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion to approve item 6.17. Is there a second? I'll second that motion. Is there any discussions at this time?
Mr. President,
Trustee Gomez?
I appreciate this effort. Perhaps Ms. Pohl, can you explain the individual who's going to be teaching this course, the background, so that everyone's familiar?
It's on there. They're going to get one. Well, that's how it's presented to us.
Yes, Miss Eva Williams is the instructor, and she teaches this class, I want to say through Hammond also, and she is certified as far as 911 dispatch, and so she will be certifying the students, but as far as background, did you say background check?
No.
I wasn't sure what
no,
you
just-
meant.
yeah,
Just what I said?
She's done this in other schools.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Mhm.
That's it. Thank you.
And, she's willing to come back during the school year as an after-school certification so that our kids can have an 8th hour if that's what's needed. So we're in the plans for talking about that, too. We want to make sure our kids have a pathway and have that bucket so that there's no question about graduation. And the future, a job possibly, so that's even something, as Dr. Abrego said.
Thank you.
Can you remain?
Yeah, just.
sure.
Trustee Gibson
Yeah,
King.
Ms. Pohl,
Yes.
these are, these are not special needs children.
Yes,
They are.
both gen ed and special ed, yes,
So that's what I want to
absolutely. And I was really pleased when I talked to her, because she has a 99% passing rate. So we, of course, accommodate the students if they have an IEP, but yes, absolutely. And we actually were able to get that class filled quickly, so I was glad. We just want to make sure they have a passing.
Okay, how many students? Do you have the count of how many students it'll be?
We're going to have to limit it to 25.
25?
Yeah, because that's as many as she can have in the class. But we also have a special ed teacher and some paras to help.
Oh, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions or comments from the board?
Yes,
Trustee Smith?
I'm glad to see this. I brought this to you all about 3 months ago when we went to a conference. They have a pathway for not only just graduation, they have one for middle school, and I gave each and every one of you all a pamphlet. And it had to take her to bring it to you. They have one for middle school, and they have one for high school, and they have a guide to tell you everything that they need to know to get to the next level, to the next school. I'm glad to see it coming to fruition, and maybe next year they will listen to me and we will start in middle school. Thank you.
Madam Secretary, roll call?
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez Orange.
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King,
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez.
Yes. Item 6.18, approval of elementary dual language teacher position. Dr. Brigo.
Yes, this is a program that is at Harrison School. Last year, they piloted the program, and the teacher was in kindergarten. The students are moving up to first grade. The teachers moved to first grade. Therefore, this year, they're going to need a kindergarten teacher, and the program will be the dual language in kindergarten and first grade, and every year, we hope to expand to one level. But this is basically just a job description for that teacher, the dual language.
Okay. Is there any comments from the audience regarding the approval of elementary dual language teacher position? Hearing none, is there a motion from the board to accept item 6.18?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.18.
Okay. Trustee Gomez makes the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. President.
Second made by Trustee Gibson King. Is there any questions or comments from the board at this time? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Hernandez Orange.
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King,
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to go to 6.22, approval of data coordinator job description. Dr. Brigo.
She said we was.
It's,
Is that all tabled?
Removed.
2-3.
That was removed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Didn't know that was table 2. Item 6.23, approval of data instructional coach job description. Dr. Brigo.
yes, we're requesting the data instructional coach. We're moving forward with a lot of data in our district. We want to make sure that these positions at every single school, it's consistent, and they all are following the same format. They're all doing basically the same thing. We don't want one data instructional coach at one school doing something, another one doing something else. So with this job description, we'll have consistency in our elementary schools, middle schools, and the high school.
Is there any comments from the audience with regards to approval of the data instructional coach job description? Hearing none, do I hear a motion from the board to accept item 6.23?
Mr. President, I move for approval of 6.23.
Motion made by trustee Gomez. Is there a second?
I'll second it, Mr. President.
Second made by trustee Gibson King. Is there any questions or comments at this time from the board?
Trustee Rodriguez.
Trustee Hernandez Orange.
With hearing the discussion of the University of Indianapolis, the local education agency, the MOU that we just approved, we now know that we're going to have extra instructional coaches in the building. And then we were presented with 8, I think, 8 in total, plus now these 4, so that's 12. Again, all brand-new news. We just found that out right now. I'm not sure if what the University of Indianapolis is asking from those instructional coaches are the same as what we're asking of our instructional coaches. I would feel comfortable if there's actual discussion, since we're going to table all these other items beforehand. I think we table and it's better explained solely because of the fact that
we just found out new news today of what things are. So I'm asking to table this item also.
There's a motion on the floor to table item 6.23. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Second made by trustee Smith. Is there any discussions with regards to the table of motion or of item 6.23?
I want to ask a question, Mr. President.
Trustee Gibson
I
King.
want to make sure that I'm clear that Ms. Trustee Orange, you said this is something that we just got, some discussion?
We had discussions, I think, the last executive session, the last two.
Right.
But it was not explained. I mean, now, today is, well, not today, when we got our packet, it showed the extra 4 individuals, and then plus how many they told us we were supposed to have. But then, again, I didn't know we were going to have that, because this came after our executive session, I think. Well, I didn't read it till afterwards. So then, is everyone complying with the same job description as what University of Indianapolis would like, just to further discuss and understand,
Okay, is
as
that,
well as where's all the money coming from? I know title for most. Now we're saying it's going to be other portions. That's why I just wanted to table the motion.
okay, you going to speak on that, Christine?
So our instructional coaches, the 4 that you're mentioning, our hopes is to use Title I funding to make sure every elementary building has a full-time instructional coach. That person will be responsible for K to 6, math, and reading. The SOR coaches, they are primarily for reading K to 2. They have different duties and responsibilities assigned by the DOE, our partnership. Everybody that's under the umbrella of academic coach within East Chicago, the 4 elementary buildings, 2 for middle school and 2 for high school, will have the same job description, responsibilities, and duties. And those will be title funds.
So then you're saying that those that are SORs have certain items that they have to comply with by the state standards?
Similar to ours, coaching cycles, amount of time in the classrooms, PD to provide to our teachers, they are focused and they're zoned in on reading specific. The others will have to do all content areas within their grade levels, middle school, high school, or K to 6.
So then wouldn't you want them to have whatever is reading-wise, wouldn't you want all instructional coaches to kind of be the same as that?
Yes, and so our SOR coaches will be guiding our instructional coaches with the direction of the DOE. So our PD for our K to 2 reading is going to come supplanted through those coaches. So it will align. But we have to use their expertise to help our staff.
So then so the titles, the 8 instructional coaches that are title are all from, you said title?
Correct.
And then the ones that are SORs are coming from?
General fund, a
General
percentage
fund.
of it.
And then they're only focused on reading, but yet our instructional coaches will have to help with whatever other items.
Correct, and we met with principals, and we talked about what do principals need to improve their schools, and so they stated a need was they needed full-time, dedicated coaches to be able to service our staff, our teachers, and so that's why we went back to 1 per building, with the middle school having 2, math and reading, and then the high school having 2 as well, math and reading. So we're listening off of the feedback from our leaders of what they need to help our teachers.
And did we, the instructional coaches that we have now, do they get evaluations?
Correct,
They do.
correct.
So, okay. I guess because that's my concern, the fact that, we're asking instructional coaches to reassign because of this new job description. And the fact that, I don't know if their evaluation was of needs improvement or not. I feel like we're just having them leave the position, adding on these new items that we need for them to comply with. But in reality, they might be able to do it. We don't know that, but we told them you have to reapply.
So they're under the collective bargaining unit. They are a teacher. They have the title instructional coach, but they are a teacher, so they fall with the same evaluation. The rubric looks a little bit different, but we do pride ourselves on making sure that if we're going to pull somebody from within and grow them, that they understand our academics, so it's a teacher grown with, not an outside person. They come from School City.
Okay.
Correct me,
Trustee Smith?
sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are these the same people that didn't want to teach class last year when there was a shortage?
Under COVID, the state has relaxed a little bit. There are different stipulations if you're paid out of a certain funding, what you're limited to do. For example, if you're federally funded completely, you cannot test our students. You have to have some kind of different shared employability. So because of that piece, it has been dropped from the state of Indiana, but there was a point where the state of Indiana stopped from us being able to water down our program and pull people. If we tell the state of Indiana we have a coach, they need to be a coach. We can't pull them to sub, we can't pull them to para, we can't pull them to do other things. We need them to stay with what we assign them to do. Like I said, we don't want to water down our program. So there was a time where they had those limitations, but it's not anymore.
Okay, so, and did we ever come up with the salary?
The salary schedule would probably Dr. Mitchell can speak to, but they do have a coach's salary schedule that's already been approved.
But it wasn't given to us.
Correct. Well, I don't know.
Here you go. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussions from the board? Oh, I'm sorry, this is for the table, the motion to table, and we did get a
Can you
second.
also add to that table the reason why is, you're right, thank you for reminding me, Ms. Smith, that we did not get the amount that they would get paid, and that's part of actual another policy that says when you change the job description, you have to actually add the salary range.
Is there any other discussions with regards to the table of item 6.23? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez?
No.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange?
Yes.
Trustee Gibson King?
Yes.
Chairman Rodriguez?
Yes. Subcommittees, item 7. We'll start with Finance. Trustee Gibson King, is there any items to report at this time?
No, there's nothing at this time, Mr. President.
Okay. In our Policy Committee, Trustee Gomez, is there any items to report at this time?
Mr. President, we will be meeting on Wednesday to further discuss some policies that have come to the board's attention. I've already addressed one of those with Attorney Harris, the other one with Attorney Snow. That completes my report, excuse me.
Okay. Item 8, Superintendent's remark, Dr. Abrego.
Yes, the last day of school for students was Friday, May 26th. Today was the first day of summer school, and summer school run June 5th through June 30th. On the first day of school, summer school, 78% of our students who signed up for summer school attended today, and tomorrow we're going to be making phone calls to see if we can contact the others. I would like to thank the Transportation Department, the Food Service, Curriculum and Instruction Department, and the administration, teachers, staff, and the parents for helping us get off to a good start with summer school. Also, Summer South Shore e-learning for all staff that will be taking place on Monday and Tuesday at Morton High School. The other announcement is high school graduation will take place on Saturday at 2 o'clock at the Central High School gym. And I would just like to thank everyone for helping us have a rewarding school year, and we look forward to having an even better one next year.
Superintendent remark, I'm sorry, trustee remarks, starting with the 9.01, starting with Trustee Smith.
No.
Trustee Gibson King.
Yes, I want to thank our audience. This is nice, and I'd like to see you again. Thank you.
Trustee Hernandez Orange.
Yes, I have a couple things to say. First and foremost, I'm just very disappointed in the chaotic atmosphere that the leadership team here is establishing. And I say this because we are doing a couple items, and I hope that you're listening, not just writing. With that, some of the items that we're doing and we're allowing the superintendent to do is break policy, mishandle funds, and we're allowing for the chaos of our actual teams within our school. And I say this because everyone doesn't know where they're going.
We've been asking to know what's happening and where they're supposed to be at, and everyone just doesn't know. So then that causes for people to leave the district. That causes the issue that Miss Trinidad has where we don't have teachers. So unfortunately, this leadership is causing chaos. I also invite that the individuals who believe that they are being wrongfully done in the school district to come up and speak your truth. And I say this because, like Miss Miss Trustee Gibson King told me, if you don't fight for yourself, then who's supposed to fight with you? I understand that sometimes people feel intimidated and they feel like they'll lose their job, but at the same time, if we don't know what's happening, then we don't know. The other thing that I must say is that you are all teachers in some form or way to our students. You're the first people that our students see. With that, we have to teach them to stick up for themselves. So let's make sure that we do that for ourselves. It is important to teach students what is right from wrong. So it's important to make sure that we, as a board, do right always. I personally saw a petition that's going around for our principal at Central High School to remain a principal at Central High School. Now, I know I'm going to be given back that it's all rumored and that we're not going to have any discussion about this until next week. So I invite every single one of you here who's here to speak on the principal at Central High School to come back to the next meeting because this is not discussed today. But with that, I've heard some trustees say that that petition that went around was of individuals not from here, was of individuals who don't go to school here anymore, was of individuals who really just didn't care about here. Guess what, trustee?
We're here. We're here.
With that, I also signed a petition, one, because I worked alongside this individual, not only as a teacher, as when he was a coach, as well as when he ended up being in the principal position, and we asked him to become the athletic director and had zero knowledge. And instead of helping him, we just decide we're going to slap him in the face, and we're going to take away his role, and then we're going to make him seem like he's not doing his job. There's 570 alumni and/or residents who have signed this petition. I hope that the superintendent listens, and I hope that the rest of the board listens. To the superintendent, one of the main reasons that you got my vote is because you spoke so highly of this individual. Actually, that's the main reason you got my vote. And to have him again slapped in the face, a son of East Chicago, is very disappointing. On a good note, because I always end on good notes, there was a post that was going around with the student DeAndre Brown. He's a track athlete for Central High School. And during one of the events, I think it was the semi-state or the regionals, he actually lent a helping hand to a fellow track runner from Portage. The individual fell, the weather was really bad, and he picked him up. And that picture was caught on tape, and I want to make sure that he not only to thank him for his actions and representing us very well, but also congratulations on making it to state. Next, the student voices. Reverend Wade talked about the student voices, and that was probably one of my proudest moments to be able to hear from the students. And I also let them know that there's a policy that states that they're able, three individuals are able to come here and sit with us, not be a voting member, but yet are able to express their opinion. I hope they come back. I hope the student voices make sure that they come. And I hope that this board listens to what they have to say. Minor things we have money for. Bathrooms, we definitely have money for. I hope that we make the charge to make sure they get heard and seen that they get heard. Because one thing that I know, I know the kids. I knew all those kids who came up here. I know that it takes a lot to come up here and talk to us. That presentation they gave was amazing. Yes. And one of the things that Trustee Gomez said was, man, I didn't know that our students could put a presentation on like that. Well, I've been known that, and I hate to say it like that, but I know my kids. My kids have been good since 2007 when I first came back and with them. We have some great kids and who have a lot of knowledge and are able to do so much. We have one sitting in the audience, and he's an entrepreneur. We have another one in the audience that's sitting in the back, and she's a confidant to many of our kids to make sure that we don't have any issues in our school system. Because if you want to talk data, all you have to do is check how many fights have gone on in our school system since Principal Brown's been there. I guarantee it's less. But anyways, that's just data. And finally, graduation 2023 is here. Congratulations to all our graduates. You are the freshman class that second semester we all got shut down. The resilience that you guys have is amazing. I know you're not like everyone else where you enjoy being out and having a good time, but you're doing things in your own way, and congratulations to that. So, like the GOAT, Michael Jordan, number 23, take flight, achieve all your goals, come back to East Chicago, and share your stories and inspire others.
Trustee Gomez?
Thank you. Mr. President, I just wanted to address the audience and let them know that if I'm a little bit out of sorts, I've been ill for over a week. I took a COVID test. All my colleagues know about my illness, and I just, if I don't seem my normal self, I apologize, but my health is not good right now, but I hope to be back soon. So, thank you.
You just want to make one comment, Mr. President?
Sure. Trustee Gibson King.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, since Pastor left, I was going to let him know that the board did meet with the Voices. Those students, they did come in. We met with them May the 4th, me and Trustee Smith. And then the whole board met with them May the 26th, and they did a good presentation on letting us know what their problems were. Some, not all. They got some more. So we are looking for them to come back and address their concerns. I want to say that, and congratulations to all of our graduates as well. Thank you.
Again, I want to thank everyone, and I do apologize if it seems as if, we try to run our meetings more on a regular basis pursuant to some of the new statutes that came out. So I do apologize if we sound like if we're overburden some of you for speaking, but again, I was going to apologize to Mr. Reed as well since he left. But I do want to thank everyone for coming. And again, congratulations to our graduates as well. Next is going to be the public forum. Attorney Harris.
Good evening, everyone. When you step to the podium, if you could, please state your name. Your comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful of the rest of the attendees tonight, the board members and the staff. Thank you.
Trustee Gomez.
Mr. President, the first speaker is Elizabeth Trinidad.
Okay, so I know you guys say you guys can't answer questions, so can I ask my questions to somebody outside of the panel?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know, is Ms. Poe still here? Okay, I have a couple of questions. She already knows I was coming. She already knows I'm gonna ask questions. So once again, I'm just wondering, where do we stand when it comes to the placing of the teachers at Lincoln? I can't hear you, love.
We will have a teacher that is licensed in that position. As far as names, I cannot talk about personnel.
Okay, I have another question. Because you said you have to follow rules and regulations, which I understand through the state, correct? Meaning, if you're gonna follow rules and regulations, that starts from the beginning of the process, correct? So I'm just wondering why then you guys had a sub as a teacher for a whole year. You guys used her for a whole year as a sub but you're supposed to be following rules and regulations, right? How is that? You told me that you need to be certified, you need to be a teacher, you gotta have your degree.
Hard to find license, so, that license is one that is probably the hardest in special ed.
No, oh, trust me, I know. But I'm not done, Ms. Poe,
Can I
I'm
give a-
sorry, I'm not
I'm sorry, can I
done.
get a point of order real quick? I think it's okay to ask the questions. We are writing down the questions, us board members, including probably our staff as well. And since you stated your name, we can actually respond
I
back
have
to
3
you.
minutes though, it's been 3 minutes.
Yeah, but I just wanted to explain that to you, because it seems like we're going back and forth here. We want to make sure that all your questions are heard.
Right, she's the one that's gonna answer my questions, right?
No,
I have talked to you and I've answered these questions.
There's 1
So-
minute.
I'm not the only one though.
Attorney Harris, can you
Yes,
explain?
during the public comment portion, we can't discuss individual
I'm
educational
not
issues.
that's not what I'm asking, sweetheart. Because if I wanted, that's the same reason I went to her directly. I didn't have to come here. I went to her directly and obviously ain't nothing getting situated. So I'm wondering where we stand.
So
I mean, as
if
a
you don't
parent,
mind, if you don't mind, if you could stay after the meeting, I'll meet with both you and Ms. Paul and see if we can't come to a resolution.
Tricia Gomez.
Yes, the next speaker is Malvin Mobley.
The only thing I have to say, there's two things. You mentioned, I think you mentioned something about the track team, but what I wanted to ask you guys was, we have a situation with the boys and girls basketball team up there at Central High School. And I remember the last game that the boys played at Munster in the sectionals, a couple of people made comments to some of the fans after it was over with. Because some of the fans got a little mad about, well, we went through 3 coaches in a week and a half. Now that right there, as long as I've been staying in East Chicago, I have never seen that happen. But when you do that, go through 3 coaches in a week and a half, I'm not mad at the coaches, I'm mad at the ones who put that process into action. The girls' program should have been, that girls' program should have been solved 10 years ago. That staff should have been gone 10 years ago. And now the only one that should be running that girls' program is a former star player for the girls' team, Genesee Bishop. The other coaches, they should have been gone 10 years ago. And I think all of us in here used to go to these girls' games when you had nothing but talent and couldn't get out your own sectional. Now, the boys' team. The boys' program went through 3 coaches in a week and a half. I think that's a total embarrassment because the players that play the game, they had to continue to adjust to a different coach every 2 or 3 days. No other school in Northwest Indiana ever did go through something like that. Now, we have a gentleman here tonight. He finished up the season coaching the boys' basketball team, Mr. Coach Allah. Is he, Coach Allah, stand here? Now, I had to have him stand because I already know that once I leave here, tomorrow I can see 10 or 15 people coming up to me saying, why did you say what you did? And what I'm getting ready to say is, Coach Allah finished the season up for the boys' team, so the boys had to get used to him. But look what the boys' team did once he took over. I'm not talking about what other people are saying about, oh, he's too young to coach up there, the kids and all of that. I think he only lost 2 games and won, I think it was 10 or 11 to finish up the season. So
Mr. Mobley, Mr. Mobley, your 3 minutes are up.
I just want to finish up, Joel, and say that we, even the ones who are clapping for Coach Allen, we all in this room should give that young man another chance and give him, well, here I go again. Give him
Mr.
a
Mobley,
deal
your
for
3 minutes are up.
Give him a deal for 3 or 4 more years.
Trustee Gomez, next.
Next speaker is Helen Steinbeck.
Helen Steinbach, 5207 East 73rd Avenue, Maryville, Indiana. I'm here tonight to speak kind of about what I talked about before. School was over for the students on May 26th. Teachers came back the day after Memorial Day. And unfortunately, we still have a little bit of uncertainty about where our principals are going to be and who's going to be in charge. And this lends to what Ms. Hernandez was saying, Ms. Hernandez-Orange was saying about teachers not wanting to stay or looking somewhere else because they want a sure thing and they want to know who they're going to be working for. So I invite any of the central staff that's here tonight to come stand with me. We have a presentation to the superintendent, and I can like to give the rest of my minutes to Mr. Lane, if that's possible.
Thank you. David Lane, on Saturday at commencement, I'll be finishing my 28th year at Central High School. I have a petition signed by over 60 faculty members at East Chicago Central. We, the undersigned, support the direction that Central High School is headed, and we very much would like to retain the administrative staff from the 2022-2023 school year under the excellent leadership of Principal Adrian Brown. We are in support of Principal Adrian Brown, instructional leader David Tokars, Assistant Principal Kelly Hildebrand, and CTE Director Maren Lee. We had a great school year and would like to continue on this path. Thank you.
Trustee Gomez?
Next speaker is Brandon Bowles.
Good evening. I'm Brandon Bowles, and I'm the representative for SEIU Local 73 and the future members of School City of East Chicago. The future members I'm speaking to is the bus drivers, aides, and the safety specialists. Now, we've been asking for something plain and simple, recognition of a union. These members have worked hard as to organize, also to hear their voices heard. So we're asking for you guys to answer this question today. Do you recognize them as being part of the union? Plain and simple.
I can respond to that. So, of course, unfortunately, the board can't respond to that, but your question has to be answered in the form of a formal vote. That's the only reason they can't. I know I'm aware of the fact that you've been reaching out. The labor attorney is John Cantrell, who's handling this. I'd encourage you to contact him. I think once you're able to do that, it'll push this matter forward. In that way, then the board can be in a position to actually answer that question and formally vote on your request.
All right. So is it a timeline that we should follow up, or?
That's up to the board chair and superintendent.
Is it a timeline, or?
They ain't gonna answer.
All right. Well, we'll be back June 20th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenneth Mobley. Mr. Mobley, yes.
Kenneth Mobley. The last 2 school years, I have represented the bus drivers and aides, as you know. We wanted to have this done by May 1st. I was told that it was going to be resolved, just like Brandon said, after May 2nd. It's been a month. You are aware that we want to start negotiations before school years start back August 14th. So we can vote, you guys can vote, so everybody, when we come back to school, when we do our training before school starts, everybody that works for transportation, all the bus drivers and bus aides, will know what the hours are and everything else. Just like earlier today, you said about the pre-kindergarten. That's going to stop some of the bus aides working middays, the way it's set up, because every Friday, I go on the website to see what's on the agenda. And it said half days for the preschool. So whoever the 2 bus aides are, they're going to be eliminated from doing a midday, because they probably, those drivers and aides are going to probably have to work all day with the preschool. So they will be out of maybe trips, field trips, and middays. The only thing that they will be able to work extra is late runs, the athletic trips. That's why it's important that you as a board, the next meeting, because I'll be in contact with Brandon, that I know you told me when you guys was at the thing, you had to have it in on Thursday. He sent one this past Thursday to be on the agenda today. We want to be recognized and get things done for the negotiations for this school year that just finished up in May 26th. So that when we start school in August, after the teachers, if we're going to be the next union to negotiate a contract, we'll be ready. But we'll already have a contract done so everybody, our workers, can see what's in the contract and what we would like to add. Thank you.
Ms. Gilda Orange?
Gilda Orange, 3909 Evergreen Street. I'm 100% in favor of them getting a union. I think bus drivers aren't even paid enough, and as you know, it is very hard to find bus drivers, and if they leave and go someplace else, you won't even have buses to drive your kids. That's number one. Secondly, I just want to say it's wonderful that you're getting a new gym floor, but it's amazing that you haven't even picked out the coaches yet. And I know trustee, I don't know if you can mention no names, because last time I mentioned the name, I got a letter. But trustee Hernandez Orange has been asking about the coaches. You've put our kids behind the 8 ball. Every school already has got their kids conditioning. They got them lined up for who's going to be in the fall practices, AAU, thank you, Coach Monroe. And so you've put them behind the 8 ball by not even selecting a coach and giving the AD the tools to help his coaches so that they can be successful. I know that I was in a meeting when the superintendent said that there was no successful programs. He looked at the track program and all these programs. You can't be successful if you micromanaging what they do. They've had to go and limp along this last year of everything they've done. The AD has had to try to pull a rabbit out of a hat in order to make it. And like Mr. Mobley said, you back and forth with the coaches. It is time to pick a coach, Let these kids know what's coming down so that they can feel secure. It's a shame that here we are in June, and we still pondering about who a coach is going to be, where the teachers are going to go. It's shameful. And people looking at this from across the county is just laughing at East Chicago. This is horrible. And if you don't do better, and one thing Mrs. Randolph said, when you know better, do better. You guys know better. And if you don't know better, you shouldn't be in them seats.
Next speaker is Corey Bailey.
Corey Bailey, 4433 Alder, East Chicago, Indiana. I am here to put an end to the rumors. I was one of those people that was told would no longer have a job as a dean of students because there was a new law passed. That's what the superintendent told me, Tristina Gutierrez and Andis. So the state law don't exist. It's not a state law. I went to the IDOE personally, drove down there and talked to them. So it's not a state law. It's just their personal agenda, their attacks on people. And I was always taught to stand for something, to fall for anything. I won't fall for it. Won't play any games with you. So if that's the route y'all want to take, I've been down this road before. I love East Chicago. Don't want to go nowhere. Want to be here. I have a job interview in the morning because I don't know what my future lies in East Chicago because you all want to play games. Not you all, you three. This is not a game. This is our kids' life we're talking about. I was so proud. Sunday, I got a phone call from a young man who just graduated. He was kicked out of East Chicago School. I had him since the 7th grade, all the way up until his high school year. Got kicked out. He called me while he's on the floor, sitting outside for his graduation. Look, Coach Bailey, I did it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's at his graduation. He graduated. That's the impact we have on these kids. But y'all don't know because y'all not from here and don't give a care about us. So we need real people that care in that leadership role where he is at. Real people that care in the secondary and elementary educational role.
Trustee Gomez. Next person is Stacy Bailey. Stacy Bailey? Okay. Shannon, I'm sorry, can't read the last name. Davis? Hi. Gotcha. Kenny Coach Monroe?
Yeah. That's where they going. Kenny Coach Monroe. I just got real simple things to say when you deal with kids. Everybody up there kind of know what's going on at the top. And what's going on at the top, he don't care. You guys are the one gonna get the blame from the community. We gonna ride y'all into him. He's gonna take the bus over the cliff. When I was sitting where y'all was sitting, and we was going for superintendents, he applied. I ain't gotta say his name, he applied. I saw what I saw, and if the people where he was didn't want him, why did we want him? Okay, and I said no. And it seemed like a lot of you all should have said no, because he's not for East Chicago. But you guys gonna be here every day and gonna take it from the community, because we're gonna make sure we come at you guys. Because y'all letting him make decisions and y'all are his boss. A lot of things, Ms. Orange, I'm going along with you. Why don't you know certain things? Ms. Smith, why you don't know certain things? They ain't gonna tell you. They doing things without your say-so, without asking, just like they took this athletic director in and had him go and get the keys before y'all even decided who was gonna be athletic director. Know that much. A lot that happened. You're talking about misfunding money and stuff? How about going into computers and stuff and getting stuff and re-signing things? I know a lot. And if they ask me to come and go, I will tell how I got it. Because what he's doing is wrong for the city of East Chicago, and each and every one of you all up there is gonna catch hell from the blame from us. Keep coming, because I'm gonna be here every day now, every time they do it. Do not let them treat our community the way he wants to treat it. It's a community, not a one-man band. And those that's up there talking about give him a chance, he only been there a year. He done did a whole lot of things wrong since then. A lot of damage. And you guys will pay the price, and he gonna ride all of y'all off the bus, on the road.
Stacy Winfield?
Hi, I myself is Tiffany Woods. I'm currently from East Chicago. Born in I'm a graduate of East Chicago Central High.
Ma'am, I think we just called Stacy Winfield up to the podium.
Okay, well, I'm very sorry, but
Did you-
can I just say what I'm gonna say right now? It's not nothing that disrespectful to you all. I'm basically speaking to the community themselves. Keep coming back. We have to fight for who we are, and we are EC.
All right.
Stacy Winfield?
Stacy Winfield, 4106 Dearborn. Like I said, former school board trustee. I am appalled. I have sat on this board with everybody but two. And for me to hear Trustee Hernandez Orange say that she did not hear about an alternative school until today, I'm appalled about it. When we sat on that school board together, those things did not happen. We knew. Nothing was added to the agenda the same day of a meeting. Trustee Hernandez Orange, you know I was against that. So shame on you all for doing that. And I'm going to speak on behalf of my sister because she is over the East Chicago Central alumni. If any other alumni are here from East Chicago Central, would you please stand up? They're standing, they are here on behalf of what's going on with the principal of Central. I am appalled by what I just heard from Corey. I'm not going to say his name, but he was just up here. I'm appalled by that because when I was on the school board, he was working here in the school city. He was working before I got on the school board. And when he was at Block, a lot of problem children that they had going on, they had to see him because the teachers couldn't handle him. And he was the parent away from home. So for me to sit up and hear that he may not be qualified, he should be grandfathered in because he's been here longer than anyone that's sitting on the board as far as in the school city. So please, I know you're writing while I'm taking notes while I'm speaking. Please consider bringing him back. He has a job offer, but could we really afford to lose him to another district? Can we afford to lose a young African-American man that's going to stand for our young boys and help him and be a true role model? Please consider it. Thank you.
Reverend Wade. Reverend Wade's not here. And only other person is Madeline, but there's no last name. That's it.
All right, the next date and time of our meeting is Tuesday, June 20th at 6 PM. That would be here.
We'll be back.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, Mr. President, to adjourn the meeting.
Made by trustee Gibson King. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by trustee Smith. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Trustee Gomez.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Trustee Hernandez Orange. Trustee Hernandez Orange. Yes. Trustee Gibson King. Trustee Gibson King. No, I don't. Chairman Rodriguez, I guess. Goodbye.